Blog Talk Radio.
Welcome to the Teresita Glasgow Blog Talk Radio Show with minister, author, and entrepreneur Teresita Glasgow.
Hello, everyone. How are you today? It's a nice, bright, and sunny day here in Atlanta, Georgia, and I'm so excited. Today I have a wonderful guest, and this is on the line. Caller on the line. Oh, someone just got disconnected. Okay, let me keep going. All right. Well, today, as I said, I'm very excited because I have Mr. Willie Jolley is going to join us on the radio show today. And I don't know if you're familiar with Mr. Willie Jolley or if you keep up with motivational speakers. He is absolutely one of the top motivational speakers in the country. And we're going to connect with him shortly.
Mr. Jolley. I'm there.
Wonderful. I'm so excited to have you on the show, and I was just getting ready to introduce your bio, so I'm going to read through the bio a little bit. And then
you don't have to tell all of that. Just greetings to everybody. Let's rock and roll. Good afternoon, good evening, good day, wherever you might be, whatever time zone. It is good to be here and be on with Miss Teresita Glasgow and to be able to be part of this dynamite show. I have only just a minute, only 60 seconds in it, forced upon me. Can't refuse it, didn't seek it, didn't choose it, but it's up to me to use it. I must suffer if I lose it, give account if I abuse it. Just a tiny little minute, but in eternity is in it. Greetings to everybody, and thank you for letting me be on with you, my dear.
Thank you. It is my pleasure, my honor to have you on. And you know, I always try to read over some of the people that I have as guests, their bio, just to familiarize the audience, just in case they don't know. But
yes.
Mr. Willie Jolley has been named one of the top 5 speakers by Toastmasters International. And just to let you know, some of the people who are former winners of that honor have been people like Colin Powell, Nelson Mandela, and Margaret Thatcher, just to name a few. He is a leading expert on making a comeback. And with the economy the way it is and the things going on in the world the way they are, this is a prime time to have someone of his caliber on this show to help us in that area of making comebacks. Now, Mr. Jolley, tell us a little bit about how you became an expert in making a comeback. Obviously, there had to be some setbacks.
Well, you know, there have been a number of setbacks, and I'm very grateful that I've been able to use this message to help people to transform and turn their lives around. My story is a simple story. I was, as you know, you're from Washington, D.C. originally, and your brother, William, is a dear friend of mine and have known him for 40 years probably. Anyway, I was a singer. We were in music bands here in the Washington area, and then I progressed from the band to start doing my own solo performing act and a jazz performer. Won the award for Best Jazz Singer, Best Entertainer, Best Nightclub Act. Things were going great. We had standing room only audiences at the #1 night spot in D.C. I mean, it was going great. People would line up at 7 o'clock for the 8 o'clock show, 9 o'clock for the 10 o'clock show. And, I mean, it was just one show after another, night after night. Well, one night I came in the nightclub. The club owner said, I want to talk to you after the night show. I said to the guys in the band, they want to talk. We finally going to get our raise. I walked in his office that night. He said, you were great. I said, thank you. He said, the people, loved you. I said, thank you. He said, we made a lot of money since you've been here. I said, yes, that's exciting. He said, that's why it's hard for me to tell you what I got to tell you. Now that we made a lot of money, we have something we got to tell you. The owners of the club have decided they got to get a better return on investment. And the only way to do that with a full nightclub is a lower cost. And the band's the biggest cost. There's something else going around the country that's filling up nightclubs, that's making club owners a lot of money, and we're going to give that a shot. We bought a karaoke machine. I said, but what about my bills? He said, sorry. And I learned that night no one cares about your bills but you and the people you owe. And it was that night that I said, okay, something got to change. I took a job with the Washington, D.C. public school system as a drug prevention coordinator, talking to little kids about staying away from drugs. And it was during that time that I discovered an ability I didn't know I had to use words to communicate. For the little kids, the teachers would say, "Can you come to my teachers group?" And I'd go to the teachers group, and someone there would say, "Can you come to my church?" And I'd go to their church. And someone there would say, "Can you come to my company?" And I go to their company, and it continued to grow. And then Les Brown heard about this guy who was in D.C. who was mixing music and speaking. I would speak, and then I would sing at the end of my presentations. And he said, "I'm putting together a tour, and I'm looking for an opening act, and it's called the Music and Motivation Tour, and we're looking for an opening act of someone who spoke and sang, and you're the only one we found who's good at this." And he invited me to be on tour with him and Gladys Knight and Billy Preston. That allowed me to get access to not only corporate clients who would come to see them, and I was introduced to, but also to media. And I got a little radio show on one little station that caught on and got syndicated, and that led to Sirius XM, where you can hear me every week on my Sirius XM show on channel 141 on Saturday afternoons. And then that led to television, CBS TV, PBS TV. I just got a green light from CNN for a new show there. And so then that led to a book publisher hearing me on the radio and said, "I heard your message on the radio. I loved it. Have you ever thought about writing a book?" I said, "No, I never thought about it." He said, "Let me make you an offer." I said, "I just thought about it." First book came out, It Only Takes a Minute to Change Your Life, became a bestseller. Second book came out, A Setback is a Set Up for a Comeback, that most people know me by. Became an international bestseller. Third book, Chicken Soup for the Christian Soul, bestseller. Fourth book, turned Setbacks into Greenbacks, bestseller. And then my newest book is An Attitude of Excellence. And then in 1999, actually in 2000, I got named by Toastmasters International as one of the top 5 speakers in the world, including, joining Colin Powell, Norman Schwarzkopf, Nelson Mandela, and Margaret Thatcher. And all of that happened because I got fired, replaced by a karaoke machine, but did not give up and did not lose faith and did not stop believing that it was possible to turn your life around. And that's why I want to talk to all your listeners, wherever they are. You might have lost your home. You might have lost your car. You might have lost your job. You might have gone through a divorce. You might have lost a loved one. You're struggling. But I want to say that you can turn this around, that a setback is a setup for a comeback, and that your best is yet to come. So you have to have an attitude that says that I have great potential and possibilities in the future, and all I got to do is keep going. Don't give up. Don't stop. And if you do that, you can start to turn this around.
That's amazing that, out of your being fired, when everything was going in your favor, I mean, the club was getting more people coming in and everything, you would have assumed that he was calling you in for a raise, but then just the opposite happened.
Right.
But it's your attitude that you took from that experience that actually catapulted you into a whole new way of living.
Right, absolutely. And you know what, that's why I want to say to people, if it hadn't been for that setback, I would not have had the opportunity to have this comeback. And so you sometimes wonder why, I like to say it like this. Sometimes you cry out to God, "God, my world is falling apart," or "My world is falling apart," or shaking apart. My world is shaking apart, only to find out it's God who's doing the shaking. Sometimes God got to shake your life up to get your attention, to give you some perspective and reflection and introspection, to give you your future, because you're stuck in a rut that you don't even know you're in because you've been there so long and it's been comfortable. But, you can't be great if you're not willing to do something uncomfortable. And many people say, well, I want to be massively successful. I want to have great success. I want to be wealthy. But it doesn't happen unless you leave your comfort zone. And sometimes we've got to be shaken to get us out of that comfort zone. So it was that shaking up. And then as a result of a setback setup for a comeback story in the book and the PBS special, then people start saying, this guy is, he knows about comebacks. And then I got a call one day from a company called Ford Motor Company. You might have heard of that little company. And then 2006, Ford was on the brink of bankruptcy. They were in desperate need of a comeback. And so they had a new CEO. Someone had said there's a guy in D.C. who's really good at comebacks, And so they called me and invited me to come and speak to the folks at Ford. I worked with Ford folks in 2006, 2007, 2008, and then in 2009, Ford was the only one of the big three that did not take a government bailout. And since first quarter 2010, they have had billion-dollar profit. So they went from losing $1 million a quarter to making $1 billion a quarter because they came back and they learned how to come back. And so that's why I want to say to people, it's possible that whatever you're going through, whatever your situation is, whatever your challenges are, it's possible to turn it around. You just got to know how to do it. And that's what I want to teach you how to do. I want to teach you wherever you are, wherever you're going through, whatever your challenges are, I want to teach you how to turn these setbacks into comebacks and how to make this your best year yet. Because how many of y'all who are listening are ready for like a really, really good year? Mm-hmm. And if you're saying, yes, that's me, I want to make it a really good year, then I want you to send me an email. Send me an email and say, I'm serious about this. I want a really good year. And I'm going to send you a free ebook that's going to help you get started, as well as send you, put you on my newsletter. Make sure you get signed up so you can get the interview that I did with Bob Johnson, the founder of BET, on my XM show, that talked about how he went from being broke to becoming a billionaire. And if he can do it, you too can do it. So, look, anybody who's serious about wanting to turn it around, want to know how to do it, send me an email at info, I-N-F-O, at williejolly.com, WILLIEJOLLEY.com, info at williejolly.com, and say, I heard you on the show with Teresita, and I want my ebook, and we're going to send it to you because I want y'all to be successful. It's time for more millionaires and more billionaires in our community, and you guys just know how to turn this around. Let's get it on. Am I right about it, Teresita?
That's right. You're right.
Come on,
You're absolutely
somebody.
Right. You're absolutely right. And you have a lot of resources on your website. So now he just gave out the email, but your website is
WILLIEJOLLY.com.
WILLIEJOLLY.com. That's yep. Always training people on how to set up their domain names, and there you go right there. That's a professional domain name, named by the person who actually the domain belongs to.
And everybody, let me tell you, Teresita, you just said something very powerful, and I hope you all heard her, that a professional website is going to have your name, and everybody has a name. So buy your name. And if you got a name like Jane Smith, where there are a million of them, get Jane Smith 1, Jane Smith 2, but get your name. Own your name. Everybody should own their name. They should just go to wherever they get their web hosting and own your name. Get that domain name, because that shows that you're serious about doing some business in the future, and you're planning and expecting that you will be able to turn your life into a success story. And when you do that, then your name, your brand becomes valuable.
Absolutely. Okay? Now, you've been doing a lot of traveling. I think you just recently got back from Africa, right?
I just got back from Nigeria and went right from Nigeria to St. Louis, where I spent the day with Joyce Meyer's folks, and back in Washington today. But it's been a hectic last few weeks, but I've had a great time over in Lagos and Ibadan, West Africa, and so had a great time.
And a lot of people may not know that you actually are a minister as well.
I am a licensed minister and a motivational speaker. So I guess you would call me a motivational minister, huh?
Well, that's the best of both worlds.
But what my message is different from the typical traditional pastor who is selling you on having faith. I believe that many people should first have faith. You should have faith. I want everybody to go to heaven. Okay, so I want everybody. In order to go to heaven, you have to have faith. You have to accept Jesus as Lord of your life and make a commitment to your faith. But I want you also to live some heaven here on earth. And I'm trying to delay the journey for you to go to heaven as long as I can, so you can have some heaven here on earth, that you can have some health and wealth and wisdom. And so I'm trying to teach you, after you have made a commitment to your faith, then how to use that faith to create some success.
Yes, absolutely.
Amen. That's what I'm talking about. I want people to, that's my theology. That's my ministry, to help you to live a better life while you're here, to do more, to have a greater success visit and actually go from success to significance, so that you're not just successful, you're significant. That when you finish your journey here, and I hope, as I said, I'm trying to delay your journey from here to heaven as long as I can and help you have greater success. But when your time does come, I want you to have lived a life that even the undertaker is sad to see you go.
Yes, absolutely.
They make their money by people going, but they would be sad. This one I didn't want to see go because they made a difference. And that in centuries from now, in years that we can't even count on our fingers, that years from now, in 21, 21, and 22, 23, they'll still be calling your name. What she did when she was walking the earth, wasn't she fantastic? That's significance.
Yes, that's what we call leaving a legacy.
That's right. That's right. So that's what I'm trying to get folks to do.
Yeah,
that's right.
That's a legacy.
So how do we get people to do that? Well, there have to be some strategies to help you do that. In my book, A Setback is Set Up for Comeback, there are 4 major strategies that I share. And in my book, Turn Setbacks into Greenbacks, which I also encourage you to get on my website, there's 7 steps. But either one will work. But let me give you these quick 4 since we only have a limited time in this interview. First, okay. I think it's critically important that you have a big vision. A big vision. You know, if you don't see where you fit in the future, then you will start to become a misfit. You will act like a misfit, behave like a misfit, perform like a misfit. But if you start to see where you fit, then you will start to fit yourself in that puzzle where you're supposed to be successful and you're supposed to create some success in your life. So you have to have a vision for your life, and you can start working on it. If you only had a year to live and you couldn't fail, what would you attempt? What would you try? What would you go after? If you could not fail but you only had a year left to live, you should be able to write down about 5 or 10 things that if I couldn't fail, well, I would be this, I would be that, I would do this, I would do that, and start writing it down and believing them and reading them, so that you start to draw into your mind those things that are way deep in your spirit that have been maybe covered up by negative friends and family who tell you, stop dreaming, get over it, you just a daydreamer, just get serious, get real, you can't be rich, what you try, who you think you are. No, get away from all that kind of negative talk and start saying, well, if I couldn't fail, well, I'd like to maybe start my company. If I couldn't fail, maybe I could write a book. If I couldn't fail, maybe I could do my own radio television show. If I couldn't fail, maybe I could buy my parents a home. If I couldn't fail, maybe I could make a donation to my church and add a wing. I mean, whatever it is that you have always dreamed about, but you have been afraid to step out on, start to get the vision for it. So that's first is vision. Second is decision. You must make some tough decisions if you're going to really turn your life around, turn your setbacks into comebacks. Decision is taken from the Greek word to cut. Now, if you make an incision, you cut in. If you make a decision, you cut off. You got to cut off some of those negative people, some of those negative places, some of those negative things that have been surrounding you and holding you down. You've got to decide that your future is going to be better than your past. That's a decision. And some people say, well, what I've been through. My friend Les Brown says, when you go through something, it's not, you don't have a problem to handle. You have a decision to make. Are you going to wallow and stay in that position, or are you going to decide, okay, you know what? I've had some tough times. It's not been easy. It's been no crystal staircase, but I'm fighting back. I am not going down without a fight. I am coming back, and I am going to win. And you get a mindset that says, I'm going to win. I don't know how I'm going to win. I'm just going to win. And when you get that kind of mindset, stuff happens in your life. So first is vision. Then you make some tough decisions. Then you must take massive action. Massive, not little action, not teeny-weeny action. There are 2 types of dreams. They're elephant dreams and mosquito dreams. Now, you take a mosquito, male mosquito, female mosquito, you put them together. 24 hours later, they got a baby mosquito. They have a gestation period of 23 hours before you get a new mosquito. Now, you take a male elephant, You take a female elephant, put them together, have that baby. They have a gestation period for a new elephant of 23 months. It take a long time, but when that baby get here, it's massive. What do you want? You want little teeny-weeny dreams that, you can get tomorrow, or you want big, massive, incredible, outrageous, momentous dreams, magnificent dreams? That's what you should be thinking. I want them big dreams, so I want you to have big dreams. Now, you got to have some things, some goals that you're going to set to get there, but start dreaming big. So I'm encouraging you to take action. Vision, decision, then action. Take some big, massive action. Massive right thinking, massive right action creates massive right results. Vision, decision, action, and the last one is desire. You've got to have desire, which takes some courage, that you want to do this. You're going to have courage. You've got to work on your courage, because courage is sometimes hard. I know it's hard. I mean, I'm struggling with things in my life. God gives you a vision of something you want, and man, how am I going to do that? I'm not qualified. That's what I had to say to myself when I was starting this speaking thing. God, I'm not qualified. I'm not the, I don't even hardly talk good. And you want me to write books? I hardly read books. Come on, you got to give me something easier. But he gave me that, and I had to work on my confidence. I had to work on my faith. I had to work on my courage to even get to a point where I said, well, what will people think? They might laugh at me, and I just had to keep saying, well, who cares? Just do it. Mm-hmm. So one part of me would have this doubting conversation, and one part of me would have this faithful conversation. Thank God the faithful conversation won. Okay, and so I had to keep letting the faithful conversation come to the fore. There's an old saying, I love this story that says, a young boy went to an Indian chief and said, I'm having these two dogs are warring inside of me. There's a good dog and a bad dog. There's a happy dog and a sad dog. There's a faithful dog and a fearful dog. There's a doubting dog and a courageous dog. I don't know which one's going to win. And a wise old Indian chief said, the one you feed the most is going to win.
Oh, wow.
Okay. So you got to feed your faith. You got to feed your courage. You got to work on it. Just start talking to yourself. Have conversation. I want to encourage everybody to go to my second website, which is my nonprofit, which is our kind of like ministry. Like I said, our ministry is about be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. Think different so you can do different. And so that is jollygoodnews.org, jollygoodnews.org. And jollygoodnews.org, you will actually be able to see my recent message not long ago from the Crystal Cathedral, Hour of Power. You'll also see a video at the top of it with my daily affirmation that I actually say every morning when I wake up. It's an affirmation that I've had my staff saying. I have people around the country who are starting to say it. It simply says like this. You can see it on the website, jollygoodnews.org. But it says, I'm healthy, I'm wealthy, I'm happy, I'm whole, I'm terrific, I'm blessed and highly favored. This is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. I wake up in the morning, that's what I say. I say, I'm healthy, I am wealthy, I am happy, I am whole, I feel terrific, I'm blessed and highly favored. This is the day the Lord has made, and I will rejoice and be glad in it. And I say it over and over until I start to feel it. And then by the time I get out to bed, I say, whew, I'm healthy, I'm wealthy, I'm happy, I'm whole, I feel terrific, I'm blessed and highly favored. This is the day the Lord has made. I'm going to go out and rejoice in it, and I'm going to slay some dragons. Okay? So you got to have that kind of mindset, because life is sitting outside the door waiting for you to come out when you wake up in the morning. You feeling all white. Life is out there waiting for you. Life got stuff. It got a flat tire, got a parking ticket, it's got a detour, it's got a traffic jam, it's got bad weather, it's got some bad news. I mean, life is outside. So you got to pump up, fire up, put yourself in a state to succeed. And if you get in that state, you look at life and say, life, you know what? You're going to have to back down today, because I am not backing down. I'm not backing down. I'm going to live my dream. So you have much choice, life. Just back off.
Yeah,
Amen.
that's powerful. That's powerful. Yeah, and you have to have self-affirming words when you go out in the day. I know some of us do it with scripture, but the affirmations that you gave, that's powerful as well. That self-talk is really important, and it's easy when you're getting in a down state to have negative self-talk, but you have to combat that and have that good affirming self-talk.
That's right. That's absolutely right.
In your book, Comebacks into Greenbacks, do you actually talk about finance in the book?
I do. I talk about money.
Okay.
Because I believe that far too often we don't talk about money and how important it is. See, money is important. Now, money is not everything, but it sure is important. Because if you find that money is short, money is tight, you can't pay your bills, it's hard to focus on your dreams and goals when your bills are due, when you're worrying about your next meal, when you wonder how you're gonna pay your mortgage payment or your rent, you hide in the car 6 blocks away from your house so that the repo man won't find it. You can't focus when money is tight. So that's why I said we got to be right up and talk about it. Money is important. People need money, and you need to have some money, and you need to be able to do. If you want to be a giver at your church or be a blessing to others, you got to have something to give. So we need to talk about how to make more money. I was, as I said, as you said, I was in Africa, and a guy who took me over there. He's a pastor, actually, but he's a businessman. He didn't take me to talk to a church. He took me to talk to a bank, and the bank paid for me. And when I talked to him, he said, let me tell you what I want to do. I want to make a lot of money, and I want to give God a lot of glory. I said, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
And that's just amazing because you and I ran into one another at a conference, Conquer, where Bishop T.D. Jakes was there.
That's right.
Bishop Dale Bronner, and all of these are men of God, but they're businessmen.
That's right. And there was a Kings and Priests conference.
Kings and Priests, yes.
That's right. And that's exactly what we should be. That everybody, once you have, like I said, I want everybody to go to heaven. Well, and once you make a commitment to your faith, you're already in some sort of ministry because you've made a commitment to serve. You already made a commitment because service is what we're called to do as believers, to serve others, to make a difference, to go the extra mile, to give somebody, to clothe the naked, to feed the hungry, to do good for others. But in that service, we also understand that everybody's not called to the pastorate, and everybody's not called to be a preacher, but you're called to a ministry. So there are prophets, priests, and kings. Prophets are those who go out and prophesy about what God is calling the world to, like a Martin Luther King. Then you got a priest, which are the preachers who are in charge of the church and the fellowship, who are to feed and serve and pour in to the congregation. But those people in the congregation are the kings. Your job is to go out and make money so you can come back and support the church, because the church can't do it without your support.
Right.
Amen. I'm all fired up now. Teresita, you got me fired up now.
And believe it or not, it's just about time for the show to be over. But I want to reemphasize that you guys can go to Willie Jolley's website and get these wonderful books, and he has some wonderful resources there for you.
And if you send me an email, whoever sends me an email today and say, heard me on the show, I want my free gift, you will get info. You'll get an ebook as well as the Bob Johnson interview. But info at williejolly.com. INF as in Frank, O at WILLIE, JOLLEY. Put the E in Jolly.com. Willie, WILLIE, Jolly, JOLLEY.com. Thank you, Teresita. You're awesome.
Thank you, Willie. You're awesome. I'm just so grateful to have you on the show. And I know I've been sending out e-blasts and all kind of information, and I know that this is going to be a widely listened to audio of this program.
Amen.
So,
well, I'll close with this. Follow your dream wherever it leads. Don't be distracted by less worthy needs. Shelter it, nourish it, help it to grow. Hold your dream deep. Down deep where dreams grow. Follow your dream, pursue it with haste. Life is too precious, too fleeting to waste. Be faithful, be loyal, and all the day through, the dream that you follow will keep coming true. God bless you. Thank you for having me. Look forward to seeing you again soon, and keep making the difference, because your best is yet to come.
Thanks for being on the show, Willie. Appreciate it.
My pleasure. God bless you.
God bless you.
You've been listening to the Teresita Glasgow Blog Talk Radio Show. Teresita Glasgow is the founder of In His Season Incorporated, a Christian corporation whose mission is to motivate, stimulate, and encourage individuals to reach beyond their limitations to their God-given possibilities. Visit us online at inhisseason.com for more information on Teresita Glasgow, In His Season Incorporated, or to get your copy of her books, Destiny, 7 Steps to Finding and Fulfilling Your Purpose in Life, and How to Start a Business on a Shoestring Budget. Be your own boss now. Now available for download on Amazon Kindle. Visit Amazon.com for your copy today. You can also download a copy of this show as well as archived shows. Just visit blogtalkradio.com/Teresita Glasgow or iTunes.com to subscribe. Check out Teresita's blog, Salt and Light, for daily inspiration and free information designed to enhance your business and your life. Be sure to follow Teresita on Twitter and like her on Facebook. Thank you for listening, and join us again next time for more of the Teresita Glasgow Blog Talk Radio Show.